Welcome to the armory. I heard a rumor that someone is commissioning their very first suit of armor. Is that correct? Well, congratulations. It's a very important part in a warrior's career when they finally get their first suit of custom armor made just for them. Of course, you can always, borrow someone else's armor for the duration of your training, but there's really nothing like having a suit of armor that's just made to fit you, like a glove. Speaking of gloves, will you be wanting chainmail gloves for your armor? Oh, it's just a little icebreaker that I often use, but we'll get to that in a moment. So, this is your very first suit of armor. We want to make sure that it fits you perfectly, and we want it designed to your specifications so that you can go into battle feeling comfortable with the armor that you've chosen. So, there's a few different options as far as the actual metal. We offer chainmail, which is great. It's very flexible, easy to move around in. We offer scale mail, kind of like this, which is also flexible and easy to move around in, but not quite as flexible as the chainmail. And then, of course, we offer solid sheets of armor, which pretty much nothing is getting through those. They're nice, solid plate armor. They're very strong, but they are a little bit more difficult to move around in, so that's something to take in consideration. What you gain in strength, you may lose in flexibility, so always something to consider. And of course, solid sheet armor is quite a bit heavier than chainmail or scale mail, so you want to take that into account too. Depending on your particular fighting style, you may want something that allows for a little more flexibility, mobility, and movement, and something that's not quite so heavy. If you're fairly agile, you may want the heavier armor. You just got to remember that if you fall on the ground, it can be very difficult to get up because you're wearing, hundreds of pounds of armor, which can be a little tricky when you're trying to maneuver yourself back to your feet. So that's always something to think about. So as far as chainmail, scale mail, or solid sheet armor, what do you think you'd be interested in? Why don't I take a few measurements for that, and I can take those down so that after you leave here I can start working on your armor right away. So why don't we just go across your shoulders here, just like that. Okay, write that down. And then we're going to go around your torso, just like that. Okay. Let me write that down. And then we better get that hip measurement in there. Right, there we go. Okay, let me write that down. And let's measure from your neck to your torso, your entire torso length here. You're kind of tall, aren't you? Alright, there we go. Just write that down. Okay. Well, I think this is going to be good. So as far, we've got the main part of your armor, measurements here. Would you like anything like leg armor, to protect your legs, or even boot armor to protect your feet? A lot of people have those pesky spikes they like to run right through your feet, and not only does it hurt immensely, but it makes it difficult to leave because your foot is literally pinned to the ground, so boot armor can help prevent that. You'd like boot armor as well. Okay, well then why don't we measure for your feet here. Okay, and then turn your foot toward me. Let's go around. Alright, let me write those down. And now let's do your legs. Okay, length. Would you like thigh armor as well? Yeah, okay, so measure your thighs as well here. Alright, I'm just going to go around and then around. Okay, let me just write those down. Okay, so for the upper arm portion of your armor, would you like pauldrons or spalders, gauntlets, and, as I mentioned before, gloves? Yeah, I do put joints in the gloves because otherwise, it'd be really difficult to grip your sword if you didn't have, some way to move your fingers. The gloves are meant to protect your hands, not hinder your movements, obviously. So, yeah, they're done in sections, so you'll be able to bend your hands with, I can't say full mobility, because obviously when you have anything on your hands, it does hinder your mobility a little bit, which is actually why I prefer bracers as opposed to gloves, but that's just a personal preference. If you would like gloves, I will do them in sections so that you will be able to bend your fingers properly. You still think you'd like the gloves? Okay, well, let me get some hand measurements then. Okay, and then let me measure each of your fingers. Make sure we got the proper fit here, okay? All right, let me write those down. And then just from the back of the hand to the tip there. Okay, let me write those down. Okay, so be doing the gloves, and then as I said, would you like pauldrons or spalders for your arms? Okay, so why don't we measure for those? Just step a little bit closer. That's right. Okay, so lay your arm out. There we go. Okay, write those down. And now, being a blacksmith at the armory, I am, of course, also able to make armor for your horse, or swords if you require anything in addition to your armor. You'd like both sword armor and horse armor? Okay, what kind of horse do you have? And how many hands is it? Okay. So as far as head size then, does she have a slightly larger head than, say, your average? She does, okay. Yeah, that's common in that breed, which is why I asked, so we'll make sure to enlarge it a little bit larger. Now, I assume you want the full face covering with holes for the ears, of course, and then the front of the horse covering with a little bit peeling around onto the sides to prevent any impalements of your dear horse. Okay, so now as far as a sword, do you have anything in mind for that? Yeah, I can definitely do that. That's not a problem. What kind of blade are you interested in? Do you want a long blade or a shorter blade? Something you can draw over your head? Okay. Okay, so why don't we go with kind of a shorter blade? It makes it a little bit easier to draw off your back there. Do you want the kind of a broader blade or a thinner blade? What era of blade really calls to you? Okay. Yep, I can do that. Any special instructions for the hilt? Certain details or features that you'd like added onto there? Okay. And any gold inlay or anything like that? Gems or anything that you want? Some people like to have a really ornate hilt when they go into battle. Kind of makes them feel superior to their opponent. Okay. So kind of on the plainer side? Yeah, okay, that's no problem. I can definitely do that. Okay, so we're gonna make your armor, and we'll make your horse's armor, and then of course your sword. Do you already have a sheath that I should just make the sword fit the proportions for, or would you like a sheath as well? Okay, I don't actually do leather work, but if you head into the next town over, there is a great leathersmith, and when I'm finished with the sword, you can pick it up here and then head over to the next village and show it to her, and she can really set you up with a really nice leather sheath for your sword, okay? And she does really high quality work, so it'll last you for many, many years, so yeah. Yeah, so she'll be able to make you a really nice leather sheath that will fit your sword perfectly, you know, just the right amount of room inside for quick and easy drawing, but preventing it from, you know, jiggling around while you're riding on your horse. So, got your measurements? Why don't you come back in, say, 3 weeks, and I'll have all your armor ready. Yes, I'm going to work tirelessly on this. I only take one client at a time, so I will be focusing solely on your armor right now. So about 3 weeks I should have it completely ready, and then you can take it, head to the next village over, get your sheath, and be ready for battle, okay? I wish you many glorious years of fighting. See you soon. And if you guys want to see how I made the rest of this costume, then check out my new book, Cosplaying When You're Broke, which is currently available for pre-sale. The links are in the description box.